Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to a new training. We're gonna have some fun with Scented Success Academy. As promised, this last week I did share with you guys that we were going to do something a little bit different, like what we've done before, where we have kind of like a panel of questions, and we're gonna go back and forth. Depending upon when you're watching this training, it is actually currently the last week of August, and I am so excited. If y'all know me, to know me is I am a fall person. I'm ready for all things fall related. And we're kind of in a bit of a transition month. If you're newer to Scentsy Land, it's 10% off this month until August 31st, off the vast majority of products on our websites. So make sure and share that with your customers. We are basically full speed ahead into the fall catalog season. We are so excited, but here's the good news, guys, that like I said before, we still have about a little less than a week left to still share all the summer, all the spring things before they sell it, before they go away. But I'm really excited because I have one of my good friends, Kim Kee here. You guys, if y'all have been following this training for a while now, you probably have seen her a couple of times. And our questions that we're going to cover tonight are going to be a little bit of maybe like what we've learned from this past spring summer season to what sold well. And then we're going to segue a little bit into like what's to come for the new season as well. And but I'm excited. We're going to go a little bit back and forth. What I love is that you're going to get a variety, obviously from Kim and I both, and hopefully from something that we share with y'all tonight, this week on this training, you get a key takeaway. And if you do, make sure and comment on this video and share with others so that way you can inspire somebody else. So let's go and get started. So Kim, thanks so much for hanging out with
Of
me.
course.
As always, it's always a pleasure to have you on our training for the week.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited, you guys. So right out the bat, we're going to go ahead and talk about, Kim and I are going to share with you guys what our top summer seller was for this season and maybe perhaps give you a little bit of insight on how we marketed it. So I was actually torn specifically between two products. I'll say, I really wanted to say fragrance flowers, but that has been my top seller from the previous summer. So this summer, I would say that that was really number two. My number one seller, hands down, was Pods. Pods was incredible. And obviously we could talk obvious wax and warmers with you guys, but that's a given. That's the heart beat of our business, right? But Pods, honestly, Pods like were my biggest seller. And I did jot down a little bit about how I marketed it, where I feel like what really truly helped sell Pods. And so for me, it was definitely for one, recording anytime I was changing out my pods. So I have multiple fan products throughout the house. Um, I don't make it all complicated, you guys. Like I open my phone, I go to camera, I go to video, I flip it around. I don't show my face. I just show the pod first, whatever I'm using. And then I just basically show me changing my pods out. That's really, that's about it. Now, for me, I personally like to record the video. I don't add the audio. I take the audio away. That's obviously something if you are wanting to look further into doing that with like a reel, there's YouTube training for that. And but I take the audio away and then normally I'll do a voiceover and I'll talk about what I'm doing. So that was the first and foremost is recording and or taking a picture of you changing your pods out. So again, I have multiple fan products, right? So hands down, like that's one way of being able to market it. The second being I once a month I offer via text only. I don't put it on social media because it's just gonna get lost in the algorithm, let's be honest. But I text it out to my customers once a month and asking if they want to borrow out. So try before you buy. And normally I'll probably take maybe a picture of me holding one to two, maybe three products. And I've got a shit ton of Scentsy around the house. Like I have tons of Scentsy stuff, and I'm okay with pulling my wall fan out of the wall. Now in my office, I do actually have like a box or a bin of a couple of products that I no longer use, and so those can be borrowed out. So that was another way that I was able to sell pods. And third being where it kind of segues also back to what I talked about with like re-recording when I'm changing them out is encouraging like scent mixes. So, just like we mix our wax scents, I would encourage them, especially like with our air quad specifically, to take two different fragrances and then mix them together.
Yeah. And I'm going to agree just exactly what you said. Between the pod products, I'm a huge pod fan. I have quite a few pod products in my house, even though I love our wax and our warmers. But I've got two air diffusers or air purifiers in our house. I've got a quad that I absolutely love. I've got a Scentsy Go that either goes with me whenever I travel. And so I'm a huge pod person, and our fragrance flowers.
Yes.
So I have a lot of flowers and I sell a lot of flowers. So those were
Love it.
my two biggest during the summer. Yeah.
And my thing is too for you guys that are watching this later on is that with our pod products, the number one thing you want to keep in mind when it comes to specifically our pods, and I know Kim's going to agree with me on this, is that you can't get them anywhere else. You can't,
Mm-mm.
as of right now, you can't get them anywhere else. A lot of other of our products, like hell, the other day I was watching a commercial for like I think Febreze or like some laundry commercial, and they were talking about mixing like their own version of like the boosters, like the scent boosters for like the dryer. They were talking about mixing those together. And I'm like, okay, but there's just a point being, there's stuff out there that is just so very, it's obviously not Scentsy, but it's very similar to Scentsy.
Yep.
But as of right now, no other company is making pods. So that's where we can set ourselves apart, from other
Absolutely.
businesses. Yep. But
Yep.
yeah, the pods definitely is where it's at. All right, so next, what two items? So this was the next question, you guys, for those of y'all that are listening to us. The next question that we have for both of us to answer is, what two items are you most looking forward to? It's kind of like a two-parter. So, what two items are you looking forward to in the fall catalog? Which, by the way, you guys, if you didn't already know, is releasing September 1st. So excited! And how do you personally shift from summer to pre-fall in your business? So, two products that I'm definitely looking forward to is the new Scentsy Air. I love the one because it has the sunflower like print on it. It's been a minute since we've had a new wall fan. Of course, if y'all notice what I said, Scentsy Air. So if y'all haven't noticed, and I'm gonna be honest, like I'm still trying to get used to that lingo. I
Wall
still call
fan.
it. It's a wall fan, you guys. It's a wall fan.
I
Till the
still
day
call
of
it a wall
that, it's
fan.
gonna be a wall fan. But if we're being politically correct in Cincy land, the it's the Cincy Air.
It's kind of like
It sounds
doing
like
the
an
right
airplane.
thing.
Yeah, I'm like, whoopsies. I said it. I said a bad word. It's the Cincy Air. But I'm like, Cincy Air and then subtitles wall fan. For
Yeah.
those of you that are not well versed in that lingo just yet. But I love it because I love sunflowers. Sunflowers are my favorite flower. But it's just not boring. I like that there's a design on it, but I like that it's a solid white color, so it'll go with everything. But I'm also very excited that the sun-drenched cotton fragrance is coming into our clean products, specifically the counter clean. Because even though I was hoping that they were going to bring back the swipes, but I know that was a part of our summer collection.
Yeah.
But I loved those wipes. Those were just so cool. But I'll take the counter clean. Yep. So those are the two products that I'm looking forward to. And then how I'm shifting from summer into pre-fall in my business. So a couple of things. So for example, today I created a reel. I didn't overthink it. I was super silly in it. I had like this friggin' Halloween bucket. It was random in my closet. I put that on as a hat. I'm not even kidding you. I don't know if you've seen the reel or not, but like I put it on as a hat, and then I had a pumpkin sign in front of me, and then I put on a sticky note, and I just wrote down on the sticky note, "This is your sign." So I just created a real simple, to the point, threw together reel. And then in the caption, I made a note of something like along the lines of, who's ready for the fall season? Do you want a sneak peek? Comment below and let me know. Um, so simple, to the point, goofy. Obviously, it's me being stupid silly, but that's the point, right? Of like entertainment. But for me, it's kind of like I've been doing things like that. What else did I so today we talked about that earlier. So like today I sent out a text to all of my customers that are my local, not locals, but I guess just all my VIP customers. And I let them choose their pass. So it's like, are you still not quite ready to let go of summer? Or are you ready for all things fall? So that gave me kind of the direction on how I was going to continue the conversation. What am I going to follow up with them, later on? Obviously, so that was pretty cool. So I was really happy about that. And then also, just the way I'm showing up. So like some of the things that I'm wearing, maybe not like every day, but like, for example, I've got like little butterfly, like ghosty, kind of earrings. So things like that where I'm taking pictures, they're seeing like little, tidbit drops here and there, of like fall product or not fall products, but you know what I mean? Like I'm wearing like a fall.
Fall vibes.
Yes, exactly, like or I'm taking a pic or like, tomorrow I plan on getting a coffee, so it's like, I'm gonna take a picture of me drinking my coffee and, just little sprinkle it in to where it's just not like fall vomit, everywhere, but it's like even though that is me in my house, I'm not gonna lie. That's me in my personal life. But, social marketing, it's kinda like, okay, I know I've got, a little bit of both. So it's just kind of like easing them in, to the fall season. And it's very different for me this year. I'll say that it's very different because in the past, I probably about 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of August would mentally already be like in the fall catalog. But I approached it very different this month, and I'm very proud of myself for doing that. Where I haven't necessarily like it's not like I don't know. Obviously, it's like I do know that the catalog's switching September 1st, but I've been very present and very purposeful with still marketing like the 10%. And I will say, in years past, I would actually normally have I would have been like on social content like Facebook posting. Like maybe a warmer that was on sale, right? Or like a bundle that was on sale. But for the most part, this month I really kept it just broad, like 10% off. That way I
Mhm.
honestly like didn't have to overthink it as far as what
Yeah.
I was going to share. Um, but yeah. So, but what's yours, Kim? What two products are you looking forward to?
Candles, baby.
I was wondering if you were gonna say that because I was just like, I want to say that. I was like, but I was having a hard time because I was like, just two products?
No, no. I'm excited about it all.
Yes.
Because I mean,
Oh, and for those
if
of
we
y'all
don't
that are
love
not
it
familiar with what they
all,
look like.
yeah, mine's right here in the box behind me. So I have not put a flame to my candle.
Yep.
I'm saving it. So
Yep.
but I'm very excited about the candles.
I'm very
And
excited. That's good. I love that.
so it is yeah, it is what it is. So I'm very excited
Now,
about the candles.
out of the two
And
scents, so let me ask
and
you, out of the two scents, which one do you think you're more excited about? The two scents that are going to be available.
um I'm not sure. And the reason that I say that is I have to smell them. The
Mm-hmm.
reason being is I am not a pumpkin to eat pumpkin. That is not happening.
Yeah.
I am not a pumpkin person.
Yes. Yeah.
But you give me something
Yeah.
pumpkin, like if I can smell a bar,
Yeah.
that may be different. Or
True. Yeah.
smell a candle, that may be something different.
Yeah.
I don't eat pumpkin pie. If they're like, oh, the whatever it is at Starbucks, vanilla
Yeah.
spice latte, like
All the pumpkin stuff.
girl,
Yeah.
you can have mine. I'm
I
not
will
going to be
take it
holding a
all.
spot in Starbucks. I'm not going to be holding you up at Starbucks to get a vanilla spice latte. Yeah, that's not happening. Um, yeah, um, so I'm not sure. I'm anxious to smell. I'm going to get both of them.
Yeah,
I'm
me
going to
too.
get both
Yeah.
of them
Yeah.
to smell them. And but I'm very excited about the candles, and I know a lot of my customers are very excited about the candles. So
That's good.
yeah, so I'm happy about that. And to pinpoint another certain product, I can't do that. So
Yeah. It's hard.
any new collections of what we come out with, the Harvest collection, the holiday collection, any other LTOs that we come out with, those are always so huge for us, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I would
And
say like last year I was like with our fall like harvest Halloween. Last year I was very excited for the Halloween stuff. This year I very much surprised myself because I'm very excited for like the fall decor. Like
yeah,
I'm a huge Halloween person, but I will say that I was more impressed, which was a very nice surprise for once, that I was impressed with like our fall stuff that's coming out
yeah.
in that catalog.
Yeah, my daughter's all about the harvest and the Halloween. Like she's like, oh, I
Yeah.
can't wait, I can't wait. So yeah, she's my spooky child.
Love it.
Yeah, but like as far as like I'm doing all the things, I'm letting my people know, like I'm putting it out there. I have emailed, I have I've got my Facebook groups, I've got my VIP groups, so I'm putting it out there. I'm just
That's
letting them
good.
know this is, it's coming in 4 days, people.
Yeah.
Be ready, and yeah,
Whether you're ready or not,
ready,
it's
yeah, it
happening.
can be, it's going to be 90 degrees this weekend, baby, but be ready to order the stuff,
Yes.
all the things. Yeah, yeah,
Yes. Well,
yeah.
and also too, one thing that I like to do as well to kind of like in a way like ease everyone like into like the new fall catalog is, normally around this time I would have the last week of the month I normally would actually go ahead and start switching over my cover photo of like my the top of Facebook. And this time I was like, I'm just going to wait until like the first week of September and
Hmm.
then do it.
Hmm.
And it's just those little things. I know that I do have customers, that look for those kind of things. And sometimes I'll say like maybe like midway through the first of the month, I always will have the ones that are created for us. So right,
Hmm.
like I've got the one already saved that has a lot of the like fall spooky, products on it. And then normally like sometimes through like halfway through the month, I'll download the warmer of the month one that we have just to switch it up because for those y'all that are watching this training, if you didn't know that little things like that can help boost your algorithm and give your content, your viewers, something different to look at and visually see. And
Yeah.
but it's just little things like that, maybe even changing up like my profile picture. I switched that up as well, so again that's going to help the algorithm. um and then also like I'll say too, for going off of social media, um if you're like I'm texting customers one-on-one, so it could be even uh creating like those conversations, you know whether it's talking about like soup season, like what, simple questions that are not so salesy, so it's like, what's your favorite soup, or, what are we cooking, this week? And I mean, yeah, uh, just different things like that, talking about. And, here's the plus side too, is that I've noticed that in our new catalog, even for somebody that maybe I do have customers myself that are actually like not fall people. They're not fall, they're not winter, they're really sad that the summer stuff's going away, but
Yeah.
like I just mentioned, the sun-drenched cotton, like there are I would say there's actually I saw a lot more fragrances this collection in our catalog that would be under the umbrella of summer and spring scents,
I did
which
too.
I'm very excited about.
Yep,
Like
I
I
did too.
saw the laundry line, Palm Beach and Ocean Breeze, that's in laundry.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Especially for
Mm-hmm.
us, like myself in Texas, like there's a lot of people that are just still wanting to hang on. And I think that's a plus side because if we're not necessarily reaching out to as many customers, our customers are not seeing us within this last week of talking about, for example, the 10% off and the summer stuff going away. I know I do have some stragglers who might come in like the first week of September and be like, hey, I want to place an order for, and whatever they're mentioning is not going to be in existence anymore. But what's really great is I can be like, oh, bummer, the sale's gone. But, and then I can talk about the fragrances that are available because there actually are, which I'm very impressed. I'm so glad they did
I
that this
know.
time.
I know. I know. Yeah, I'm glad that they did that one too.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I love that. And I will say too, like for y'all that are watching this training, whenever you're watching this, I will say that what's really great is that there's not necessarily pressure to market the. You don't feel the pressure, I should say, to feel like you actually have to absolutely market the fall um harvest collection. I know that I've had team members that are like, who's to say like if we're going to have stuff available for a short amount of time, long period of time. And I know some of the people could feel like there's a lot of pressure, putting marking it out there, and there's limited time. And but here's the thing is that aside from the harvest collection and even later on through the year the holiday collection, we have a catalog. Our catalog is not really going anywhere. And that's what I try to remind myself, and I remind other team members and such that you have the catalog. So if it's LTOs are not for you, and that's a lot of pressure, I will say on one hand, speaking from experience, that's a lot of PRV that's possibly left on the table. Don't discount anybody out, but at the end of the day, we do also have to think about our well-being, in our mental state. And if it's just a lot of pressure, yeah, focus on the whole the catalog in itself.
Yep. And and I mean, look at it this way. If you have if you're the consultant who does have a PWS, like you legit right now, you can go to your PWS and you can click on collections, and you can click on new for fall/winter 2025,
Yep,
and it will pull up everything right now with
exactly.
pricing, everything
Yep,
that is coming out for the fall/winter 2025.
yep.
And you can share that link with your customers right now. They
Love
can't
that.
they can't pre-order anything, they can't put anything in their cart. If you go up into the search bar and if you type in harvest and hit search, it will pull up everything that is coming out in the harvest collection. You can copy that link and you can share that with your customers. It pulls up everything that's coming out. You don't have to print out anything. Nothing. Don't stress about having to print anything out. It
Yep.
pulls up everything with
Oh,
pricing.
and what about let's talk about that new feature, by the way. And I'm glad I'm actually saying this out loud because this is something I want to text and email out to my customers to let them know about this. What about the new feature that we have on our PWS for every single product that your customer is interested in getting in on, and knowing when it's going to come out, which specifically is exactly the link that Kim was just talking about with you guys. So that link, everything that's on there, even though they can't add it to their shopping cart, there actually is a spot on there that your customer can click and then create a profile. They'll put their personal information in, create a profile for them, and Scentsy will automatically notify them when those products are available, which is so cool.
Like, I don't know if this will pull up. Well, is that too light?
Yeah, no, it's bright.
Okay. So like I clicked on the Scentsy Air Go blooms, and it says coming soon, and it says if you enter your email address, we will let you know when it's available. And then you just put in your email address and it says notify me, and then it will,
Yep, as
that's all you
simple as
have
that.
to do. So
Yep,
you don't have to print out anything. All you do is you just put in your, you can copy that link and send that to your customers,
yep,
and they can literally go in and see what's coming in the fall winter catalog and the
yep.
harvest collection. And there you go.
I
So
love that.
that is free marketing right there.
Exactly. Yep. I love it. Thank
Stress-free
you.
marketing right there. Yep.
Stress free and buying us back some time.
That's right. And go to your workstation and email every one of your customers right there.
Yeah. Well, it's good that you actually brought up the email because that actually I think is going to be a part of what my next answer is going to be for our question. So we're going to talk about a little bit, you guys, on what are the ways that like Kim and I are working on reengaging our customers during the catalog transition time. So perfect segue, by the way, because that was actually something that I have actually been utilizing more. I would say over the last couple months, if not longer, is not only Scentsy Connect, but also on our workstation. And you guys, if you have not already been into your workstation, I highly recommend it, because when you log into it, the very first thing that you're going to see on there is this specific number where it's going to show your customers that haven't really been engaged in your content in a while, which is really awesome. And what I love about that is that those are your customers that maybe perhaps they're not seeing your email, or if you are emailing your customers, they're not seeing, or they're not opening it, or it could be customers also that haven't ordered in a while. So that is something that I will say that I'm working on re-engaging with my customers, is reaching out to them through specifically through email. I've actually have noticed that I have more of a pickup in sales through email than I have text.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, and I have gone in, just trying to get a little bit more engagement, within my VIP group. Um, Asking them, like, I care about what my VIPs like. I like to get their opinions, and I'll ask them different, I, even their opinions about um things in general, not just about Scentsy,
Yep.
you know, or engagement of certain things of like how they like to hear from me. Do they prefer email? Do they prefer a text message? Do they want to hear from me just on Facebook, at more at their convenience?
Yep.
You know, so I'll go in and create a poll and let them answer me at their convenience, and then I have to make a mental note a lot of times to go back and check that poll, because we don't get notified
Yep.
as the poll
That's true.
creator, you know, so I have to remember to go back in and say, oh, I got to go
And see
check
the
that poll
results.
to see
Yeah,
the results from that.
that makes
Um,
sense.
so in my VIP group, I create polls, and then I have, with the changes, and Megan and I talked about this a little bit a few minutes ago. Within my VIP group, I have, with the changes within Scentsy of the marketing material, I have decided to utilize my VIP group, um, what I feel like will be a much more effective way to keep them notified and engaged. Not only via email, not only via text message or via boards, because I use boards as well. I try to utilize every aspect of communication with my people as much as I can.
Mm,
So I am going to start utilizing the media section on my VIP group, um, and uploading more to my albums under the media section, and actually creating photo albums within my VIP group.
love
So like
that.
I created a photo album for the harvest collection. Bam, I put all the harvest pictures in there. I'm gonna at some point go in and do the same thing, maybe for all of the fall winter catalog. Just depends on, or if we have an LTO that drops,
Yes,
that kind of
definitely.
thing. And then if I have something that I create in Canva, um, I create a lot of stuff in Canva. I go in Canva, I create something, I save it as a JPEG or a PDF. I was feeling the need to go in and create it, which I did, spend a lot of time on it. Then I felt like the need of having to go in and um, print all the things, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to feel like the need to print everything. But you
Yeah,
know
keep it
what?
simple.
I'm going to keep it simple. This is saved in a PDF.
Yep.
I'm going to upload it to the file section in my VIP group,
That's good.
and it's right there.
You
I
know
don't
what I
have,
love too? Like creating something simple like that in Canva, especially because it's not as like specific, like we said, like to like an LTO, or it's not specific to like scent and warmer of the month. What I love is like once we create a document like that and it's saved, you can go in to like the next catalog season and then edit it, to where it's relevant.
right, right. So that's how I am choosing to kind of transition, because it's a big transition from this last
Yeah,
catalog going into this catalog, um,
definitely.
for all of us.
Yeah.
So we're having to, we all hear the word pivot,
Yep.
and
That's my
we
favorite word.
pivot so hard that, we're like, ugh.
Yeah.
So it's a learning curve.
Well,
And
and like per catalog season, I feel like it's important for it to rebrand, not rebrand like entirely, but it's like, if you're a season consultant, looking back either to the last, last year, so like last fall, last winter, or even for myself, it's like the last like couple months, for spring, summertime. And it's like, okay, what was something maybe that really wasn't working for me, or maybe something that just doesn't bring me joy anymore. And I'm like, I'm going to take that away. Or
right,
it's like, what is something new, that I want to do, this time. And it's
right.
not just doing all the things or taking everything away, it's like figuring out just those two at most, but I would say for sure just one, what's one thing, that you want to take away and add in.
Well, I mean, we look at it this way, I mean, we are we are in a time where so many things are changing, not just in Cincy land.
Oh, for
We
sure.
are
Yep.
so many things are changing. So I look at it this way. If like I know how to use a QR code. I mean, I'm on my phone all the friggin' time.
Yep.
So if I walk into a restaurant and I sit down and I look down at the table and there's a QR code stuck to the table, but I'm expecting them to bring me a paper menu. If
Yes.
they don't
Yep.
bring me a paper menu, am I going to get up and walk out? Because
Right.
I don't have a physical menu to look at?
Yep.
No, I'm not.
No.
Like I know how to pick up my phone, scan
Yep.
that QR code, and read a menu.
Yep. It's just
Um,
adapting.
because we've learned to adapt,
Yep.
so
Yep.
it's kind of like we have to teach, and we have to help our customers. Like if we have to learn to adapt, we have to help our customers to adapt.
Yes. And it's like taking them along,
They're
on the
along
ride.
with us.
Yes.
They're
Yeah,
along on the
and
ride
like
with us.
being just as transparent with them,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And just letting them know, like if there's something that's out of our comfort zone. Like I remember whenever everybody really what we started really adding QR codes in with all of our Scentsy things. Thankfully I was well aware what a QR code was before we
Right.
were doing it with Scentsy, but it was like, but then figuring out like how can we incorporate it into our business and our newsletter, or gosh, I remember doing like what was it? It was like a flip through party online, and like there were QR codes that I was adding in, and that was cool. I did it once, and I was I can't say I did it again, but I did it once, and it was like, okay, that was cool. That was different, one for me, but I was glad that I did it, right? Because it was way out of my comfort zone. It was fun. It stretched me because I feel like it's all about like the growing pains. It's growth. It's how can we keep our momentum, moving forward, not staying stuck, because change is good. Is change always going to be easy? Absolutely not. But for
Yeah.
me, it's like just trusting the process that, and it's cool because, we don't have to take it all on all at once. There are a lot of changes that are taking place, right?
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily have to bring it all on and take a load on all at once. We can pick and choose, along the way, what are things that maybe, what, I'm just not going to focus on that at all, or there's other things to where it's like, okay, what, I'm not really sure, about this, but I'm just going to go with the flow and
Yeah.
take
I know one of the first times I sent something out with a QR code, and I had an elderly customer, like she
Oh
called
man.
me,
Yeah.
and she's like, "What is that blob?" And I said, "What?" And she said,
Yeah.
"Yeah,
You don't
that
think about it
black
like that no
square
more.
thing." And I said, "What are you
What's that
talking about?"
barcode?
And yeah, and she's like, that black bob. And I said, "What part are you reading?" And I
Yeah,
said, "Honey,
because I'd be
that's
like,
a
I like
QR
two different
code."
languages. What are you saying? What am
She
I
said,
saying?
I thought your printer smudged or something." And I said, "No, no, no, no."
You're like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. They're talking
So
about the QR
that
code.
was a clear example of, like bringing them along with
Yes,
us.
exactly.
Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
assuming that everybody knows what a QR code.
Right.
That
Right.
and to me, it's like what's cool about that is like that is content in itself. Like that's if you have a VIP group, that's something that you can go live, or if you're meeting up with your customers in person, like that's something that you could, talk about and learn with, learn along, the way with them. And it's not just always just about sales. It's like, okay, and I think it's cool because when we master something and we're teaching ourselves or someone else is teaching us or we're doing this training, right? Like I love capturing those moments, take a screenshot of it, post about it because again we're bringing our customers along the way, even if we're sharing it in our VIP groups, letting them know like, hey, look what I learned to do today, or look what I'm trying out for the first time, because in that way they're seeing, like, oh, they are investing in themselves, they're investing in their business, they're learning something new. I mean, that in itself can be inspiring to somebody that's watching us.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I always like to think that um my little term is like sharing is caring,
Yeah, exactly.
or it is, I have two of them. It is what it is, or sharing is caring.
Depends upon what kind of mood we're in for the day.
Yeah.
Depends upon where I stand. It's a little different every day.
Yeah, depending on what day it is. Yeah.
Exactly. One thing, so talking a little bit too about like how we're going to re-engage with our customers. So something I think that I've been playing around with, I thought about after SFR, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do it like maybe into like this next week after like the holiday and such. But so like the new categories that we have, of course, you may have to having a brain fart because I'm forgetting the other two. I believe there were four. So it's warm, I believe, right? Inspire. Was it
Enliven.
enliven? Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna write that one down. So it's enliven. And I want to say the other one was something, it was more like subtle. What was the last one? Yeah, because it's those. So for those of y'all that are like, what the heck are they talking about?
That's
Scentsy.
only those are the three in the catalog.
I don't know why I was thinking there was a
Warm
fourth
the
one.
heart, enliven the senses, and inspire the
Oh no,
soul.
that's our, yeah, so that's, I'm talking about the with the rebrand. So like the theme for like decor. So like instead of having oh gosh, what was it before? So like instead of having boho or
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like the product categories. I wish I had a catalog. A catalog's in the bedroom right now. I
the
no
old one
lie.
or the new one?
The new one. Because
I
I
have the
wonder
new
if
one.
it's I wonder, is it in the new one? Like the categories?
No. Warm
Let's
the
see.
heart, enliven the senses, inspire the soul.
Let
Um,
me let me pull it up on I'm gonna pull it up in my pictures real quick because I remember I feel like I saved the well I guess while I'm looking it up, Kim, if you want to help me segue into our next question while I'm looking at this photo up. So the next question for y'all, so the next question is looking back at summer, because again, as of recording this, we're actually, like I said earlier at the beginning of this recording, we're at the last week of August. We're in transition month. We're getting ready to segue into fall. But looking back at the summertime, Kim, what would you say is one thing you would do differently to prepare for the next catalog change?
um, I felt like this past summer was extremely differently busy, for so many people, especially families that have kids. I don't know why this summer felt so different from past summers, especially with travel. Like I traveled 3 times this summer. One of them being SFR, and then 2 other trips that I took. So I don't know how I would change things any differently, um, or how it would have made any difference as far as customer connection. Um, I mean, I tried to hit all areas as far as connection, either through Facebook, email, uh, Happy Mail, texting, Scentsy Connect. I mean, I'm a huge Connect fan. I literally have a timer on my phone every single day that goes off. Check Connect. That's exactly what my timer says every day. Check Connect.
Love
And
that.
so, that is one of my daily tasks is to check Connect. So, um, I don't know how I would have done things any differently. Just for the mere fact that I don't know, maybe I was just busy in a different way this summer versus past summers. I don't know. I don't know. It just it this summer just felt different, busy. I don't know.
Well, it's not a bad thing though, because I mean, I feel like that with you, like you said yourself, you did a lot of traveling, you had a
Hmm.
lot, that was going on outside of Cincy. And I mean, I think in a way that that's good because, like you said, your customer base seemed to be about the same. So then, it was a nice little balance for them to be able to see, that you do things outside of Cincy,
Oh
that
yeah.
and like bringing them, into that world as well as I'm sure you did, whether it be in your VIP group on your personal page.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I was very strategic when I was traveling, like scheduling posts and, so I mean, I'm a planner, so I do think ahead. Um, so I would schedule post out and, so when I was in St. Lucia, posts were being posted, because I planned that ahead. Um, that kind of thing. So I do plan for those times when I was gone.
That's good. That's smart too. I mean, especially when it comes to, scheduling out like your posts and things of that matter. So then that way, everything is still going, as it was before, but then you're
Right.
able to, step back, relax, enjoy yourself,
Yeah, because
while
not everybody
everything.
knew I was sitting on a beach in St. Lucia. They thought I'm, sitting at home, on posting making a post on Facebook. And I'm like, no, girl, I'm not.
I know, I love that, like, when I have things that are scheduled out, and then
Yeah.
somebody will be like, "Oh, I didn't know you were at home." I'm like, "Uh-huh," like, "Oh, I'm not actually," and then but then they go on my other page or my personal page, and they're just like, "Wait a minute, yeah, like, you're on this trip, like, you're doing this, you're doing that," and I'm like, "Yeah, it's just the beauty of scheduling out, things ahead of time."
Exactly. Exactly. Work smarter,
Mhm.
not harder.
Exactly, and that the truth?
Yeah.
Alright, well, I tried to look and look and look. Maybe that'll probably honestly, I'll just make that like the next training. You guys, so those of y'all that are watching this video, I'll make it to where I'll do the video switch. That's weird. Let me wait 1 second. Uh, that's weird. Well, hopefully they can still see the both of us. Uh, my photo changed. Can you see me?
Not live.
That's weird.
Yeah, I see your still picture.
I know. That's strange. Give me 1 second. That's odd. I wonder how that happened.
Mhm.
Let's go back. Alrighty. Oh, you know why?
Why?
It looks like the recording, like it maybe didn't let me, well, I didn't show that I'm on there twice, does it?
No,
Hmm,
shows
let's
two
see.
participants. It
Let me
shows
see.
recording.
All right, well, we'll just see how this goes towards the end.
Yeah.
Because because I'm looking at my screen and it's like it asks me to record, but then what's weird is in the top left-hand corner, it does show that it's recording. So I don't know what that's all about.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, because if I get on, huh. Well, dang, I want people to actually like see me and not my still frame photo. What the heck?
Oh.
Uh, yeah, because I think I want to say I had made y'all host. Well, crud. Let's see. I'm not really sure how to undo this. Sorry, y'all, for the technical difficulties for those of y'all that are watching the recording. I don't think this has ever happened before. Let's see. I think I fixed it. Yep, there we go.
There you go.
That was weird. Whatever. I don't know. That's tech. We were just talking about that, so it's like that's technology for y'all. I don't know what that was all about. Well, anywho, so for those of y'all that watch this every time I post a recording, just make sure and just be back here for next week because I will go over what I was trying to find. And even though I apologize because I can't remember the other ones, but I do remember that it was warm and enlivened, but I don't remember the other ones. But basically, y'all, what this is, and like I said, make sure and come back for next week's training, is there, I believe, are 4 categories. And if y'all been around with Scentsy Land, Scentsy World, y'all will know that in the past we've had certain like product categories specifically to like warmers. So we've had to where it was like I said earlier, like boho, or we've had like rustic, or different things of that matter. So what Scentsy will be introducing and rolling out is the idea that there are going to be marketing photos, images where they'll have kind of like a setup of a space. So whether it's like a living room or a bedroom, and it's really honing in on not necessarily like the theme of the warmers, but it's the overall theme and aesthetic of a room. So somebody's like decor taste, of how otherwise they would stylize the room, not just the Scentsy warmers. And what that's going to allow is for our customers' imaginations to take place to where then they can see, oh, you can mix and match, different warmers to incorporate, into this space. And what I like too is a lot of the warmers that are going to be coming out in our new catalog are going to be ones that look more like home decor. They're not they're going to be more what do I want to say, like modern type pieces, warmers that can really be used like all year round.
And don't
But
be afraid to bring color into a room.
yes, yes.
Don't be
Well,
afraid to bring color in.
yes. And what I love and like my point of like where I was going with that whole rabbit hole talk was re-engaging with my customers. So and it's so funny because I promise like somewhere on my phone I have those photos because or you know what? You know what? No, we're not gonna do that. Sorry. Because I literally was gonna go right into my photos, and I was like, "No, Megan, no," because that's what got you off camera in the first place. But it's funny. It's I'm like, it's all coming back, like Celine Dion, because I created in Canva. So like I went to Canva, and I remember it's like I'm like that's why I couldn't freaking find it because it's in Canva. And you know what? It's okay, y'all. Everyone, hold tight. My my spicy brain will not let it go, but at least I'm like, I know where it's at. So I created in Canva, and my plan, so while I'm looking for it, my plan is that I'm going to text my customers and I'm going to pick their brain Yes, I found it. Oh, I was close. Okay. So I'm gonna see if I can actually share my screen. Let's see. That way I can be like, oh, that's what she was talking about. Let's see. Share. Du-du-du-du-du. Share my screen. There we go. Start now. All right. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
All right. So this is what I was talking about.
Oh,
So
classic. Classic,
yeah,
classic.
that's what it was. That was the one I couldn't remember, you guys. So this is what I was talking about. So these are the 4 rolled out decor themes. We'll call them, I can't remember the technical term, but we'll go with themes that Scentsy is rolling out as of September 1st for the fall winter catalog. So what I love so much is that instead of, again, like I was saying before, that instead of saying like, oh, this like as if we've seen in our past catalogs, like page by page with all the warmers that had the same theme were grouped together. But what I love so much is that we are now grouping our customers into this 4 quadrant right here. So it's, where do they fall under? And it doesn't necessarily have to be just one, but it's like, where do they fall under? Is it warm, enliven, inspire, or classic? So what I
Mhm.
personally plan on doing with this, going into segueing into that way, it's not just like, oh, all spooky and leaves, even though, like I said, that's definitely me, but that's not my customers, not all of them. So what I want to do to introduce them to the new catalog is what I plan on doing is posting this not only on my Facebook page, but also texting them and in a way, letting them choose like their path. So what I plan on doing is creating a conversation with this specific image, and I'm going to share it out with them. And I'm just going to simply ask them, you know, oh my gosh, I love, y'all may have seen, I love, decorating, I love thrift shopping, creating new spaces in my house. Which of these 4 speak more to you?
Where did you find that
Um,
at?
um, I don't remember where I got the individual images, but I can share it with you,
Okay.
because I created this collage in Canva, but I
Okay.
don't remember where the specific images were. I'm thinking maybe that the image were shared probably in the SFR page, I'm thinking.
Okay.
Um, but I did save them when I did come across them and then just put them in that like collage together.
Gotcha.
But that my plan is because I do have where I track like my customers that like certain let me go ahead and get out of this because I know not everybody like wants to keep like staring at the screen. So let me go back. Let's somebody I know as much as everybody wants to look at my phone. Okay, I think we're back to normal. But my plan is, y'all, with that image is that I plan on sharing that probably honestly not just once, but maybe like once a month because not everybody's going to see it. So whether it's like through text, but it'll be text and then for sure like Facebook, but I'm going to share it with them. And once they comment, then there's several things I'm going to do with that. So like for one, I'm going to make sure that I'm either writing it down or I'm saving it to my phone what category they chose because
Mhm.
that is going to tell me for one via email what images marketing am I going to share with them,
Mhm.
what text, and it's specific because it's like one-on-one, right? So it's like anybody who says like enliven, any warmer product category or maybe even fragrances that I think would be tied in, product wise, with that category, sending it out to them. But there's
Gotcha.
just so much more that we can do with that, but I think it would just be so much fun. Also that would encourage you to, encourages me like to even ask my customers like once they choose that product category, just be like, oh my gosh, whatever I want to say, replying to that, and then you can be like, it just opens the floodgates for conversation, right? Because then your customer could possibly be like, oh, I'm actually redoing this room and I'm actually adding things here and there. And I'd be like, oh my gosh, I would love to see it. Let me know what it looks like. Or maybe it's somebody that just moved and they're just like, oh, I'm in my new home and, this gives me some inspiration or who knows, right?
Right.
Like, who knows what the conversation is going to come from. But I love the idea of, introducing those like 4 quadrants and, talking a little bit in depth. And then, I personally with email, on Monday, I do what I call like kind of like memory or like mood Monday. So
Mhm.
that's what I'll be doing, for sure, at least the first month of in September, is every Monday emailing out my customers for Mood Monday and highlighting one specific category and then talking up, a couple of the products. And then, yeah, but like I said, there's just so much that can be done with that. Um,
And I mean, something that I have done in the past, let's say that you've got a customer that has an entryway into their foyer,
yeah,
and they've got um a table into their foyer at their front door, and they want a new warmer, or they want a new diffuser, and their color palette is whatever.
yeah,
um, and say, okay, well, what is your color palette? And they tell you what their color palette is. I go, okay, Megan, how about taking a picture of, stand about 3 feet back, take a picture of that entryway and send it to me.
yeah.
And
Love that.
they do it.
Yeah.
What I do is I take that picture, I jump on Canva,
I already know what you're about to say because I do this too.
and I do about 3 pictures, and I
Yeah.
will I will pop a couple of warmers in
Yep.
and save it, or I'll drop a diffuser in, or I'll drop a Scentsy Air Quad in,
Yep.
save it, save it, save it, and I send it to them. I give them options, or if
Yes.
it's a warmer and a fragrance flower, or I give them options, because it's not for us to decide what that customer likes.
Yeah. Well,
You
not
know,
only just likes, but what their needs are.
what their needs are,
Like one thing
because
that
I'm a very visual person.
yeah,
I am one of those, like, I have to see it.
same.
I have to put my hands on it. I'm
And that's
very
the
visual.
experience too,
Yeah,
that's the experience is, like, giving them visuals, allowing them to, like, touch it, even if it's, like, sensory, smelling, touching it, seeing
yeah,
it. Yeah, because not
yeah,
everybody is going to have an active imagination, there's a lot of times, certain brains don't fall under that category. So
yeah,
it's up to us as consultants, to be like, these are your options, and it's again going back to that like conversation with them,
yeah,
asking them like what listening to them, like what are their needs, what are their wants. There's different things to take into account, like who's in the house, how often, or what are the most high trafficked rooms. If there's a specific room that they're wanting to put product in, like you said, Kim, like having them share a photo with us of what that room looks like, because it matters. Because like I'll give you an example. I had a customer, a good friend of mine. She had been seeing me for some time share photos and videos of the, we're going to go and just say air quad. So the air quad. And whenever I shared it, she took advantage of what I was talking about before, where it was like, try before you buy. So, and I'm so glad she did, because she was very excited this month to try it before she bought it. So I went over to her house, set up the air quad, put the pods in. I said, hey, I'm going to let you borrow this out for a couple days, like a week. I'll be back. Whenever I come back, I'll come pick it up. Well, midway through the week, she was like, hey, I really like this product, but I'm not really smelling it. It's not as strong. I don't know why I'm not smelling it. And I was like, well, when I come visit you and come pick it up, we'll talk about it more. Well, what I really didn't take into account, and again, this is where this imagery comes in of like knowing the space, is that the way that the layout was in her like living room slash like kitchen area was that there were a lot of like walls and hallways where it was very like it's very compact in the middle. And what it was is she was really wanting to smell for the air quad to disperse like through the hallways. And
mm,
because there really wasn't a lot of like open space like from that main room into the hallways, she wasn't able to smell it throughout that area. But also take into account like how does the airflow go in the house, you
right,
know
right.
different things like that. And again, like you said earlier, like you're right, like just paying attention to like what is it that they're wanting, what are their needs.
Right, because some people are totally fine with, looking at it on a, in a catalog or looking at it
Yep.
online and go, "Yep, I want that."
I want that.
Okay,
Yep. Yeah. No questions
and
asked. I'll
no
take it.
questions
Yep.
asked. And, but for them to see, if this is their hallway table
Yep.
and to see that warmer, sitting on that
Yep.
table and they
Makes a
get a
big difference.
visual, that makes a
Yep.
big difference. And they're like,
Yep.
"Oh my God,
Yep.
that's like friggin' magic." And they're
Exactly.
good with that and go, "That's what I want." But
Exactly.
that makes it look like you as the consultant are taking that extra step and you have like their best interest at heart, and they're
Yep.
going to notice that and
Now, I
go,
will say one little nugget I have to put in there because maybe not everybody has Canva and or pays for Canva. So one thing that I will say that I have learned, unfortunately, because I currently am not paying for Canva as of just temporarily right now for budgeting reasons. But one thing that I did learn the hard way, like Kim was talking about, is that if you pay for Canva, you are able to upload photos onto another photo, like she was just talking about, and what you're able to do is take the background away and then add the Scentsy product into the photo. But I just
"Yep."
want those of y'all that are watching this that may not necessarily pay for Canva, just to know that as of right now, we're not able to do that. Now, and or
Or
that
if
might
you have another
change.
app, if there's another app that
Yes,
you
exactly.
use,
There might be another app. Yeah,
right?
exactly. 'Cause the one that, Scentsy has, I am drawing a blank
Photify.
right now. Photify, yeah, I don't know if that's an option with Photify or not.
Yeah,
Now, another alternative would be if your customer is, kinda like what I said with mine with the air quad. If you have a customer that is well within reason for you to be able to get to their house, and let's just say hypothetically you happen to have a similar product, even if it's not the same exact warmer, but something that can come really close to that product that they're interested in. If you could bring it over to their house, even if you don't leave it there, but just physically bringing it to their house and then setting it up in that space for them again to
yeah,
visually just see, what it looks like, those little extra steps along the way will make a big difference.
yeah, yeah. Agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
so one thing, let's see, so I'll answer. So what is one thing that I would do differently to prepare for next catalog change? So I'll say for me, one thing that I did notice that again that made a difference was not only paying close attention to Cincy Connect, but also sending emails for sure. Definitely. And I feel like that's something that I I will say that I wasn't as hands-on, like, one-on-one text this summer season, but I was very much that was very much on purpose because I noticed that I was not getting a lot of, replies back or just conversation in general, with my customers through text, and my thing is that it's so much easier to send out an email, and I had noticed that more of them were either, coming back and talking to me about what the email said, or as we've seen, like the click rate, open rate. And that was my goal was that, and I'll say this, like if you're watching this training and you're like, okay, I'm going to start emailing out my customers. I don't know what's going to come of this. I will say that the one goal that you want to have for yourself, obviously, first and foremost, is sending the emails out. Once you get to that point and you figure out how often through the week you're going to email your customer, I would then say then focus on your your open ratio. Don't focus on the clicks. The clicks will come later on because that's one thing I noticed is that I have been a lot more strategic and making sure that I am emailing them through the week. And I will say if you're new to emailing, as long as even let's just say you pick one day through the week that you're emailing your customers, be what's the word I'm looking for? Repetition. Make sure that you're doing that. Like when you pick, even if it's not the same day, as long as you're emailing your customers once a week, stick to that because that really, truly, I saw results like long term was being consistent. That's the word I was looking for. As long as you're being consistent through the week, but that's something I'll definitely plan on doing and keeping to. Um, Another thing too, I would say that really helped me, and that's and this is kind of a two-part thing. So it's like if you have product on hand, because I usually do events. So that's why I want to right out the gate say this that I do events. So I have extra product on hand. One really thing that helped me segue into the next catalog season was creating like little mystery bags, didn't overthink it. So that really helped push product out. But if you are watching this and you don't have product on hand, that is okay because you can utilize the clearance section. And most of the time, our clearance section reflects the opposite season, especially towards the end.
So be on the lookout, be on the lookout, be on the lookout for, yeah, bolo, bolo,
Exactly.
bolo.
Yes. Yes. Put your alerts out there, guys, and always like be on the lookout for like a warehouse sale. And I'm also going to segue and say that you don't have to get all the things. God, please don't don't get all the things. I feel like there's a lot of consultants out there that put so much pressure on themselves that they have to have a boutique in their room or their house. And the thing is that there are customers, yes, that are going to want things on the spot. But you know what? They ain't the one for you. Like, let them find a
You as
better
a
person.
consultant are not required
No,
to carry stock. Do
exactly.
not go into debt.
It
Do
is
not go
okay
into
if
debt.
you don't have now, not to say like, get Scentsy with your build your rewards. Use, in fact, a huge example for that is that my birthday's in September. Yay me. And every year the which is so cool, but so is that my birthday's the first. And so every year I love waking up at 2 a.m. And that sounds sarcastic, but it's like I love waking up and 2 a.m. But what I love is that I build my rewards, my personal rewards up for like 2 months and I let it roll over. So then that way, when that new catalog releases, specifically the fall harvest collection, I'm then able to use said
You go
rewards.
shopping.
I'm like, what? Yeah, I'm like, give me all the spooky stuff. I'm like, treat myself. And that's so fun because this last week I've just been like, I'm like, what am I gonna
Happy
get?
birthday to
I
me.
was like, my make it rain, make it rain, ghosts and spooky stuff. I'm like, these are all mine. And that's my plan, y'all, because when I place that order and everything comes in, this time I'm actually going to take a picture of like everything in front of me. And then like I'm gonna get behind it and then I'm gonna send an email out and then I'm gonna text it out and all the things and just thank my customers because that's 2 months worth of now it's not like all the orders that were basically coming
Right.
in, but it was a good amount. And I'm very excited for those
Yeah.
host rewards.
Yeah.
And especially because I don't plan on doing as many events this year on purpose. Like I'm putting my attention other places in my Scentsy business, and I am perfectly okay with that. And that's why the only thing I really plan on using my host rewards because I do have one event in September, like mid-September. So a little portion of my rewards is going to go in towards wax. So getting like some of the new wax scents. But other than that, everything else is going to me. So
I've got like 6 events scheduled, so 6 or 7.
hey, that's okay though. I mean, for me, it's like it's different for everybody.
But I
I think
took the
that's how
summer off.
fun.
But I took the summer off.
Yes, yes,
So
and that's
like,
yeah, and that's how I am, and I
yeah,
think that that's good because and I think that that's cool to show everyone that's watching this video. Is
yeah.
that we work our businesses so different, and the way that I worked my business last year through the fall winter season was I had events like every other weekend, and I
Mhm.
loved it. But but what's cool is that we're not held, to doing the same thing. We were just talking about that, like rebranding our business, doing different things, taking things away. But for me, it's like I'm going to take away doing events and then be pickier and like not want to do as many events. I can't just be like, oh, that's that. No, because I want
Yeah.
to earn an incentive trip. So then it's like, okay, if I'm
Right.
going to do that, what's going to take its place?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
I
hear
enjoyed
you.
our chat.
Always.
I'm like, woo. I'm like, we're closing out the month with a bang, bang.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
So,
excited. I'm like, bring it on spooky season.
yep. It's
I'm like,
all
we got
good.
this. We
It's all
got this.
good.
Couple more days in counting. We got this. My my brain at this point, and like I said, I mean, this week I am just sprinkling in, y'all. I'm just sprinkling in, easing everybody into it. I mean, I live in the deep south, like it's like a still 99,
I'm in
100,
Georgia, so I mean, I'm
and it's still
deep
hot where you're
south.
at. Yes.
Like down.
We're like Georgia, Texas. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, so we can't, but I think that that's where it's again just going back to being intentional,
Yeah.
going back to be intentional, sharing our love of fall, sharing our love of Halloween, whatever the case may be, and being very intentional in a way of like once you are creating those conversations and figuring out like a post on Facebook page of like Team Apple, Team Pumpkin, like Kim was just sharing with y'all, like she is anti pumpkin spice and I am power to the pumpkin spice. Like, but those are conversation pieces, right? Like those are things that we can post about, share about, and then that's going to get those conversations going and figuring out like which direction, what are we going to be sharing, with our customers. So
Yeah. Which is crazy because like I love apples with peanut butter.
yeah,
Like, like give me an apple and peanut butter,
yeah,
but to go in there and grab an apple and eat it, not necessarily. I
mhm,
have a customer who loves everything apple scented,
yeah,
but give me anything pumpkin? No, no, thank you. But to smell it, it may be, something completely different. So everybody's nose is different. I may
yes,
smell that candle and think, okay, okay,
yep,
Scentsy, I see what you're doing
yep,
here. So, and I
exactly,
may change like I used to hate pine
yeah,
until the pods came out.
yep,
The
exactly,
pods,
yeah,
the pods changed
same.
me.
Same. Well, and
So,
and I share that too with like my customers is that to not necessarily just say no to like a certain like fragrance base. Like, if you don't, like you said, if someone doesn't like drinking or eating pumpkin, like, and here's the thing is that yes, wax is very strong, but that's the beauty of having other products because
yeah,
there are certain scents that I'm like absolutely no to on wax, but I love it in something else. And
yeah.
I like I've even thought about doing this maybe like once a month because I'm not a big sample person anymore, but I was thinking about maybe with those that are saying that they want something tangible like in their hands. I have thought about maybe doing a like mystery scent of the month. And then what like well, for example, what I did this month is in my club, I always get like the spray for scent of the
Yeah.
month. So and I don't do wax anymore. So I actually will spray felt, like little felt pieces. I'll
Okay.
spritz it with room spray and then send it out. But I'm thinking about doing that for some of the fragrances that we have and making it to where I'm not gonna label it. I want to send it out to where those that are, like, anti-pumpkin, I'm gonna get a laugh, if they're just
Oh, I
like,
would
"This is"
catch it. I would
they're
catch
like, "This
it.
is the best thing ever," and I'm like, "It's a pumpkin scent." And I think it'll be fun, like, doing, like, guess that scent.
Yeah.
And then everyone that gets the mail, like, reach out and be like, "Hey, did you get your mail? Let me know. Let's play guess that scent." And then whoever maybe like gets the closest, to describing it or talking about it, could win like a scent circle, in the mail.
Gotcha.
But it's like to me, it's like just introducing them,
Hmm.
don't like let's get them beyond their limits, right? Like getting out of their comfort zone.
Gotcha. That'll work.
Yeah, that'd be
Oh, like,
fun.
yeah, she threw up some pumpkin on me. I know what she did. She got me.
I got some stinky mail the other day. All right, girl. Well,
All
thank y'all
right.
so much for
Yep.
hanging out with us. We're definitely going to continue this into September, so stay tuned for that. Also, if, like I said, if you are regulars watching this series, my training in general, make sure and come back for next week because I'm going to talking about some of the new things that are rolling out with the new brand, the new catalog, because we will then officially be in the fall catalog season. So I'm very excited. But thanks, Kim, for hanging out with me.
No
I
problem. I'm
can't
going to
wait
go
for
cook our
next
dinner.
month.
dinner time. I
Yes,
got to
me
go cook
too.
dinner.
I know I have groceries delivered today, so I'm like, I already know. I'm like, let's go ahead and do this.
Yeah. All right, friend. Talk to you later.
Talk to you later. Bye, everyone. Bye,
Bye,
Kim. Have a
guys.
good night.
Yeah.